so golden.
Hey guys, my name is Alyssa DiCarlo, and if you don't know me, I am an indie author, and I am, let's see here, I am the author of Catatonic and Switch. They are psychological thrillers. If you've read them, awesome. If you haven't, even more awesome, because possible new books for you to read. Anyways, so it's been a long time since I've done one of these videos, literally like over a year now. The pandemic, my hair is wild. I have a lot of hair. The pandemic was crazy for all of us. I fell behind a lot on my writing, I fell behind a lot on my reading, and I fell behind a lot on my marketing. So this is me trying to catch up a little bit, me trying to get back into the interactive author world, because the biggest thing about being an indie author is your connection with your readers and your connection with social media. So here I am. I'm trying something different, or trying something new, different today. Usually I'm like sitting down, but I just feel like full of energy, so I'm gonna be standing for this one. Probably playing with my hair a lot because it is just a mess. If you hear the background music, I am listening to Harry Styles because I am seeing him in concert in, I think it's 8 days now? Eight-ish days. I'm going with my best friend Ashley, which I met on the internet 4 years ago, and is our first time meeting in person. I'm so excited to meet her. Proof that internet friends are real. Yeah. So it'll be my third time seeing Harry live. The first time I saw him was when he was still in One Direction, and I was a little 14-year-old kid. Second time was in 2018 on his very first tour, and then third time next week. And my dog is walking in here, so if you hear his nails, that's what that is. But today, what I wanted to talk about, dipping back into the world of social media with my writing, is finally, my third book is coming out on November 3rd. I have the proof copy right here. So it says they're not for resale on it. I'm actually going to do a glossy cover instead of, oh my gosh, Zeus, your nails are so loud. Anyways. So this is the cover. It will not be matte though, because I don't really like how you can see all of the fingerprints on it. It's a little too dark for my liking, and the back is it's just full fingerprints. Not really a fan of that. I thought the matte would look cool. Turns out I don't really like it as much. So it will be a glossy cover, and it will be brightened a little bit because it's a little too dark. But this is the cover, and yes, that is my face. I am also a photographer, which explains the pictures behind me. That's some of my favorite work. That's actually not been updated. That's within the past couple of months. I need to update it. Honestly, this whole wall I want to be covered with my photography. This is from one of my more recent shoots. So I offer these beautiful canvases that are actually made here in Huntsville. And Zeus's nails, oh my gosh. I hope you guys love dogs, because you're just gonna be hearing him pace around. But I've got this beautiful canvas, and I actually work with a small business, a family here in Huntsville, to produce my images on canvases, and I include them in all my packages. So, yeah. Anyways, back to writing. My new book. This is what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about going outside of your genre. So my first two books are psychological thrillers and like suspense as well. This is completely different. This is a horror. It has fantasy. It also has romance, because let's face it, I can't write anything without romance apparently. But I'm really excited because this is my first time actually dipping into the fantasy realm. Fantasy always intimidated me. It scared me. I knew that I wouldn't be good at it if I tried it, or I thought I wouldn't be good at it. The last time I experimented with fantasy was when I was in middle school, and I wrote a book called Midnight. And it was basically a story about a mermaid who also had legs. You know, she could go from being a mermaid to having legs, all that kind of stuff. And there was an alternate universe where all of the mystical, magical beings could go, and it was called Midnight because it was always midnight there. It was juvenile, but it was fun, you know, but that was the only experience I had with fantasy. So when I started this last March, I was extremely intimidated because the whole storyline is that my main character, Freya, I'm going to brighten this up as well. Freya Gallo has a gift, and her gift is that she can heal people with a single touch, which I was just very excited about that because I thought that was cool. You know, like everyone dreams of being able to heal others, you know, especially by magic. And so she's able to heal people. You know, if I were to gash my arm open, one simple touch, seal it like nothing ever happened. Wouldn't even leave a scar. And I don't know, I think it's really cool. But anyways, that's what my new book is about. So it is about her family. She comes from a mystical line of beings who are almost extinct. So her and her family, her brother, her mother, not her dad because he is human, and her grandmother are the only ones that remain of this entire lineage of beings. And their entire existence is at stake because their counter is still around and they are trying to defeat them for good. They're trying to make them disappear for good. So that's what this is about. It's about Freya, her family. They are under this constant threat of being eliminated from existence. And obviously they don't want to be because their powers, which I call energies, are extremely special and different, and they don't want that to be eradicated from the world. They want their bloodline to continue as anyone would, human or not, especially them. They want to pass on these powers for years to come. The only problem is they're having this active threat, and Freya and her brother don't have any children yet. So they're afraid that if they die, their powers aren't going to continue on because they don't have any children yet. Yeah. Another fun thing about Scarlet is that instead of like an enemies to lovers, it is a best friends to lovers romance, which is very different. I didn't intend to write it, but I'm not in charge. My characters are in charge, so that's what happened. But that's basically all I'm going to touch on the book. I'll make another video when it gets closer to the release all about Scarlet Sunday. But yeah, so my third book is coming out. Super beautiful. The cover, although it is me, I took these photos of myself with my photography. The cover was designed by my dear friend Haley. She does professional design services. I will link her information in the description. And then it's really cool because my chapter headers are absolutely stunning. They have that blood spatter, and those were designed by my friend Nicole. I will also link her information in the description. She did an absolutely phenomenal job. Phenomenal. Like, it really just brings the whole book together. But yeah, so that's Scarlet. I'll make a whole nother video all about Scarlet Sunday, but right now I just wanted to talk about exploring other genres and how scary it can be, because it's extremely intimidating to go from writing something in your comfort zone, which my comfort zone is psychological thrillers. I'm huge on psychology. I love thrillers. I wrote about my character Switch, who is a serial killer. All that kind of stuff appeals to me, and it kind of comes naturally, which maybe is a bad thing. But anyways, so branching out of my comfort zone to go into fantasy, especially to go into horror, which horror and thriller kind of go side by side. So I wasn't really intimidated by that. But going into those fantasy elements was extremely intimidating. And I had to do a lot of research because I honestly didn't know where to even begin. You know, it's how do you dip into something that is completely original, something that you create? And I didn't want to go super overboard by creating a completely fictional universe. I wanted to start small in my fantasy journey. So it's based in our universe, our world, but they're just kind of like living in it, if that makes sense. So they're, you know, everything is all fantasy, but it is based in our timeline, our world. They just exist in our timeline. So that made it a little bit easier because I was kind of like putting my feet in the water, starting out, not doing anything too risky, not doing anything super complex to where I would overwhelm myself. But this book did defeat me several times. I wrote both of these hefty books, okay? Almost 900 pages. Actually, probably is 900 pages between the two of them. I wrote this in like 3 months, and then it went through some rewrites that took another 3 months. So 6 months, and I wrote this in 6 months. So I usually write extremely fast. Scarlet Sunday, which is shorter than both of these, took me 16 months to write. It just really kicked my ass. And in a good way though, because it tested who I am as an author. It tested my abilities, and in the end, I created something that was so unique and so different from what I usually write, and something out of my comfort zone that I'm actually really proud of. So I think it's important as an author to branch out of your genre, to kind of see who you are as an author, what you're capable of. If you're not comfortable with it, if you don't like it, you don't have to publish it. There's no requirements, you know, but I just think that it's an important thing to do, to test your growth and to test your abilities, to see, hey, can I write something like this? Now, I know there are some genres that I cannot write, erotica being one of them. I can't do it. Sci-fi, I can't, like, there are certain genres I will never write because I just know I don't have it in me. Personally, it's not something I'm interested in. That's a big thing too. If you're not even interested in the genre, you're not going to be able to write, well, I don't want to say that. You might be able to write it well. I can't. But usually when you write books, you're writing something that you want to read. So Scarlet is something that I wanted to read, so I wrote it. It makes sense. You know, when you're writing a book, you want it to be something that you are interested in, something that you would want to pick off a shelf and read. So, genres are a funny thing because there are some books that you write or you come up with that you feel like don't even fit into a certain one. And that's okay too, because I personally don't think stories need to be limited by their genres. I think if you have a wild story to tell, but you can't fit it into one category or a specific category, who cares? Write it. Because the world needs more literature, the world needs more stories, the world needs your story. So, never be afraid to go outside of your genre because you can create something beautiful like this. Something cool, something different, and something that, hey, I'm proud of this. It's different. I'm nervous. I'm very nervous for feedback because I know it's not my usual thing, so my usual readers may not like it. I don't know. It doesn't come out until November 3rd, so we'll see. We'll see. But I love what I do, guys. I love it. I'm proud of what I do, and this is what I want to do until the day I die. I wanted to thank you guys for listening to my rambles because that's pretty much what all of my videos are just me rambling. I hope that I influenced you in some way to branch out of your genre and to get that confidence to do it, because that's the most important thing, is support and confidence. And I am always 100% all about supporting fellow authors, not even just indie authors, any author, anyone who has written a book is a friend in my eyes. Well, readers, everyone's a friend. I love friends. But, you know, it's to see your work in printed word is probably the most surreal experience. And you should never be intimidated by what the world has to offer, because you are a creative, you are an artist, and you can create fucking magic. So do it. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't, because you can.
You're so golden.